NFL honors. I'm very excited for Matt Stafford. I think he deserves it. Obviously, he's had an incredible career. But this was the closest NFL MVP race since 2003, when we had Peyton Manning and Steve McNair, who actually had the co-win. So there was 24 first-place votes for Stafford and 23 for Maye. So super close. I wasn't quite expecting that. Akeem, are you surprised by how close the NFL MVP race?
Very surprised.
Right?
Like, so 23 people pick Maye over Stafford. That's just crazy to me. We talking about two guys who play the same position, two quarterbacks. One who played a tougher schedule. He threw 15 more touchdown passes. Shit, he got sacked 24 less times than this other guy. They both had the same amount of interceptions. Like, that right, what we talking about? It's not like one played on the good team and he played on the bad team. They both played for good teams. If we talking about straight quarterback play, man, who threw the most interceptions, who's making a team win, it was clear Matt Stafford. So it was surprising that 23 people can vote Maye over Stafford. What is the QBR, Skip? I know that's probably what you finna say, something about this QBR. It's 77 and then 71. It's like he first, he fourth. So, I mean, it's not like he's first and he's 14th, or he's like didn't contribute to the wins of his teams. He's fourth. So,
but the numbers you're just talking about, it's the Grand Canyon separating them in QBR. That's the
71 and
yes,
77 is the Grand Canyon.
It's a huge leap.
Oh well, shit. Well, you know, this is a new stat for me, Skip. I'm still learning.
You got to
this
get
QBR
with this
shit.
program.
Yeah.
I'm still learning it.
Yeah, that's more of these
I'm
boys.
still learning it. You know what I'm saying? 77 and the 71 is maybe not a Grand Canyon. What's a smaller mountain, Cody?
Smaller canyon?
71, 73, if we're around that age.
Oh, God. So, it was very...
55 is normally average Pro Bowl numbers. Anything above 55 is pretty damn good.
Right. So, very surprising to me. I don't see how 23 people said Maye had a better year than Stafford. Like, I just can't see that.
I'm opposite. I was not surprised. I said a couple weeks ago when the season ended, when we talked about this award, I thought both were very deserving. I mean, they both had great seasons. When you look at what Drake Maye did, he took an organization that had won 4 games each of the last 2 seasons, and he led them to 14 wins, the number 2 seed in the AFC, and their first division title since 2019 when I was with New England, and that was Tom Brady's last season. He threw for 4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Another factor in this, too, that I think helped him over Stafford was that he ran for 450 yards and 4 more touchdowns on the ground. And I know you don't love those advanced analytics, but he did lead the league in QBR, in completion percentage, and yards per attempt, which is very unique to lead the league in completion percentage while pushing the football down the field and being first in yards per attempt. He also led in CPOE and all these other things that I know you probably don't care about, but those were a factor in all this. And I know everyone talks about the strength of schedule, and I understand that was an argument when it came to the MVP decision. I understand that, but I'm not going to use that right now to diminish what Drake Maye did, because just the last 2 years, New England was a team that everyone talked about, well, you're playing the Patriots on your strength of schedule. He turned that organization around, which I think is very important, and led them to a great season. He was very deserving of those 23 first-place votes. But with all that being said, I do think Matt Stafford deserved it, man. What he did this year, especially from a statistical standpoint, to lead the NFL with 4,700 passing yards, to lead the NFL with 46 passing touchdowns, which is 7th most all-time in a single season. He also had 12 more than the next closest quarterback in passing touchdowns. He also did a great job, too, of leading that offense, led the Rams to the first, or they were number 1 in total offense, number 1 in scoring offense, so many different categories. They averaged 30 points per game while playing against the toughest strength of schedule in the NFL this season. And one of the biggest arguments, too, against Stafford was, well, how are you going to give the MVP to a guy that didn't even win his own division, a guy that lost 5 games? Well, in 3 of those losses combined, he threw for 8 touchdowns and 1 interception. And when it came to divisional opponents against the NFC West, he had 19 passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions. At one point in time throughout the season, too, on an 8-week stretch, 25 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, also threw 28 straight touchdowns without throwing an interception, which is also an NFL record. So, yeah, both guys are very deserving. I know this is going to continue on. Is it Maye? Is it Stafford? Probably for a long time. But I'm just going to sit back and enjoy greatness, man.
Which is it, Cody?
I said I would go with Stafford. I would go with Stafford slightly over Maye, but I think
over a long time.
But Cody never makes definitive. He loves everyone.
But Cody loves everybody.
So my argument with this is, I know that the fan bases and everyone's going to say Stafford Maye. I just like good quarterback play. Why can't we just sit back, enjoy greatness?
Because somebody has to win the award.
They do, and I said I would vote for Stafford slightly over Maye.
We all would probably vote for Stafford.
But I don't want it to diminish what Drake Maye did.
I'm not. I have no issues with what you said.
Yeah.
I have a question about. You said it's going to continue over a long time. What do you mean? What does that mean?
Or people like the next couple months, years, off season, people are going to go back and forth. Oh, I think it was Maye. Maye got robbed. You know it's going to come
Stafford
up.
won.
He won.
I'm just telling you.
He won. Who
It's going to
cares
keep
what
coming
they-
up, though.
I was not surprised.
Yeah.
Not for the quarterback stuff you just talked about. That was real quarterbacky. Yeah. That is not why. I'll tell you why I wasn't surprised. Because I've been saying it all year. This is the weird year in the NFL. Okay. Nick Benito wasn't first or second team All-Pro, but he was a Defensive Player of the Year finalist. Michael Parsons went on IR, and he was a Defensive Player of the Year finalist. Christian McCaffrey wasn't first team All-Pro running back, but they created a position called All-Purpose Player, and he was first team on that. Bijan was the first team running back, but the second team all-purpose, but Christian McCaffrey was an MVP finalist. Oh, and then Bill Belichick just got skipped over for the Hall of Fame. This is just the type of year we're in. So the weirdness.
So are you saying this is a weird vote?
This is a weird, yes. Everything that's happening is just weird this year.
So you're
with the
saying
voting.
Stafford should have been the runaway winner?
Absolutely. It's just, and I can think of why they maybe. Because when they vote, they put in all these narratives like, oh, last year they won 4 games, but this year they won 14. Last year don't matter. It's about this year. So
Exactly.
they talking about, oh, well, what the change or the turnaround, forget the turnaround. There's always a team that goes from worst to first. That's the NFL. It happens. So if we're voting based off, oh, look at how he turned his team around. Forget last year. We're talking about right now. Okay. Right now in this year, and what happened. And then there's Drake Maye didn't have this player with him, but Matthew Stafford had Puka, and he had all the, man, forget all that. What did Matthew Stafford do? What
Drake Maye had Diggs. You got
That's
a big
what I'm
name guy,
saying.
too.
Like, what did he do? So I can think of all the reasons why it was close, but more importantly, it's just one of them weird years where it's just a lot of weird stuff.
Like, if you ask any one of them before you go, Skip, ask any one of them voters who voted for Drake Maye, would you rather lead the league in completion percentage, QBR, and give me a couple more, what else?
CPOE,
CPOE,
EPA per play.
or would you rather throw 15 more TDs than the next guy? Everybody going to take Stafford's stat line. You going to take it. You want Drake Maye stat line or Stafford's?
Stafford's.
Everybody who going to vote for Maye, offer him. If you was a quarterback in the National Football League, would you take this stat line or this stat line? All of them would pick Maye's. All of them would pick Stafford's. So,
and it's like we making a big deal. It's been a whole thing about how they got to the Super Bowl, the schedule, the strength of the schedule and all this. Okay, well, when we talk about who dealt with the most, because this is a regular season. This is a regular season award. Who dealt with more top 10 defenses? Matthew Stafford did, and he still put those numbers up. Yeah. So when we're looking at what one dealt with versus one dealt with, we can't be like, oh, they strict the schedule's been weak. That's why we making a big deal out of it. But then we praise him for it in the regular season, which is why we can't do both. Pick one. It's one or the other.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was saying. The question wasn't who won MVP. The question was, were you surprised it was that close? I'm not surprised. Drake Maye had a hell of a year. But I will say that Matthew Stafford should have won the MVP. But I'm like I said, 24 and 23, I think that's very well deserving for Drake Maye.
By the way, did Carolina have a top 10 defense? Did the Atlanta Falcons have a top 10 defense? They did not. And I'm about to get to what happened with Matt Stafford against those two defenses. If you had listened to me yesterday, you would not have been surprised. It was close last night.
I always listen to you, Skip.
Okay, well, you didn't yesterday. You didn't. If you had listened to me the day after the season ended, you wouldn't have been surprised it was close, because I made the case both times that Drake Maye had a slightly better year than Matt Stafford. I also made the case Matt Stafford was going to win this award, and he was the prohibitive favorite going into last night, the runaway favorite, because the media tends to overreact every year and plant its flag. Everybody's got to plant a flag at midseason. He's the MVP, and that's all I heard through about week 10. Matt Stafford running away with the MVP, right? and it was some career achievement because he's a nice guy and he's been at this for a long time, and he has a Super Bowl, but he doesn't have an MVP. So the voters are saying he deserves it this time. And I was happy for him last night. And I actually got goosebumps watching it live last night when he walked up on stage and took his 4 little girls, and they were all dressed identically in their long evening attire, and it was cool. It was a really nice moment. And I was happy for him, but he did not deserve this award. You laid out all the numbers, and they're off the charts for Drake Maye in consistency the whole year straight through. I don't care who he was playing. He was playing, I think, in the National Football League, right?
He was.
Okay, all right. So if you stack up all these numbers, and then my favorite stat, because it is the tell-all stat, QBR, he nuked the field in QBR. He ran away with QBR. He was miles ahead in QBR, and that's all I need to know to give me a slight edge for Drake Maye. And he did throw 8 picks, but he never had a multi-pick game, so he spread them out. It was one a game, spread out, not Matt Stafford. And those 46 touchdowns, I'm going to say what I've been saying all year. 33 of the 46 came in the red zone, where Matt Stafford averaged 3.5 yards per completion. Okay, I know, but
hard
but
to do.
again,
That's more difficult.
okay,
Right.
okay, you can make the case, but then we talk about the most classic play in Super Bowl history, where it should have been beast mode from the 1-yard line, and they threw it, and you're like, dumb. Well, they threw it from the 1 yard every time because that's what Sean does. And Davante Adams led the league by far in touchdown catches with 14. Next was 11. But guess where Davante was in yards per touchdown reception? He was 60th because there are a bunch of 1s and 2s and 3s in there, okay? Well, I'm going to dilute it just a little bit. I think it's harder to throw a 70-yard touchdown than a 1-yard touchdown for the most part.
I
Maybe
disagree.
somebody's wide open. Okay, so here's where the media had already planted too many flags. So we get to the stretch of the season, and the Rams are perfectly positioned to win the 1 seed, and it's going to be a whole different story. Maybe they're playing in this game right now. Maybe Matt Stafford wouldn't have been there last night to accept his award because he's playing, right? And they go to Carolina, and they're prohibitively favored to win that game. And what does he do in that game? He throws 2 interceptions and has a strip sack fumble that costs them the game. Then the last regular season game, they're still hanging on by a thread. They still got a chance. They're at Atlanta on Monday night. Matt Stafford stunk in that game and threw 3 interceptions. And do you remember the Xavier Smith play at the end of the game on the deep out? He just airmailed him. And it's like a throw to win the game. And maybe they're on the wrong page, but I've never seen Matt Stafford miss a throw that badly in a moment that big. It could have saved the season. It could have been a 1 seed kind of a throw. And instead, it knocked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out of the division because all of a sudden Atlanta's going to win and tie at 8 and 9 for the division. My point is, this is harsh, but it's true. Matt Stafford coughed up the 1 seed and then won the MVP. That's what just happened. He coughed it up. He stunk it up in 2 late season games that cost them the 1 seed. That's what happened. And he won the MVP. And I'm happy for him, but I'm saying, and I'm actually happy for Drake Maye because I don't think he'll love this. I think it'll give him a slight bit more motivation for what's about to happen out here in the Bay Area, right?
I mean, did he cough up the 1 seed when he threw for 450 and 3 touchdowns at Seattle and put up 37 points and scored in overtime? Yeah. That was a big factor. Or that Thursday night game, they played the 49ers. He threw 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and they fumbled on the 1-yard line going in. Those losses matter too. Or against Philly when they had a lead and their defense let them come back in that game and he threw 2 touchdowns.
Okay, but when the money
pick all those
he in the AFC,
stats.
he in the NFC chip.
Okay.
And 5 of their losses, Skip, they averaged 27 points per game in all 5 of those losses. It's hard for me to say Matthew Stafford was the reason they lost. Against the Falcons, yes, you have an argument. Those 3 interceptions were bad. But because of him, they still had a chance to win that game. And going back to your point, and I think Akib would agree, throwing those touchdowns down in the red zone, even at the 1-yard line, to me, it doesn't matter if it's the 1 or it's the 50. They're all worth 6 points. A touchdown's a touchdown. But down in the red zone, the room for error gets so much more smaller, and the windows get smaller, and the timing and the anticipation, all of those things happen quicker. So it's more difficult, in my opinion, when there's more bodies flying around than when you have a lot more room to work out in the field. And also, that's a part of their offense. That's Sean McVay's system.
It is.
It's not them going down there saying, let's pad the stats and let Stafford throw touchdowns at the one. They're going to line up, and their 13 personnel go 36 power with an X-fade tag backside. If you get one-on-one on Devontae, I'm going to throw the ball to him every time. And that's what they did. Those are checks
that's
and
candy
alerts
from a baby to me. That what you just talked about.
You still got to have great precision, great accuracy, great timing. Those one-step fades to the pylon aren't easy, Skip.
Why everybody don't do it, Skip, if it's candy from a baby?
The high percentage play would be a tush push or a handoff instead.
Because it's Sean McVay.
Because it takes Stafford and Devontae to get it done.
Okay, what about, those are two of the best, and I want the ball in their hands from the 1 or 2 or 3. And so I'm good with that, which is why I didn't kill Pete Carroll or Darrell Bevell for trying to throw on, what was it, 2nd and goal from the 1 in the Super Bowl, right?
I mean, but if you had a timeout and you got a guy who averaging 4 yards a carry.
Also, you got beast mode.
That's he just had a 4-yard carry.
Williams. I like Blake Corum, but that's
a totally different situation.
Okay, but I did tell you that during the regular season, beast mode tried 5 times from the 1-yard line and missed 4.
And if you don't get it, I just call it timeout.
Okay, and you would have a good case.
I probably had
you would probably be able to win.
So let me ask you this, Skip. So you would rather have 4,300 yards, 31 touchdown passes, 8 interceptions, 400 yards rushing, 4 rushing TDs, and lead the league in QBR, then 4,700 yards passing, 48 touchdown passes, and 8 interceptions?
I would.
You would take Drake Maye?
I like the consistency across the board for 17 games from Drake Maye. I'll take it because Matt Stafford went haywire a couple times during the season. And by the way, he almost lost to Seattle at home when he threw for a grand total of 130 yards.
And Drake Maye almost lost to the Broncos when he threw for 65 yards and got a 60 QBR.
Okay, but did he not beat you with his legs?
I mean, but he had a 60 QBR with 65 yards passing. That don't even add up.
Okay, like but you're holding that. You're holding the postseason against him for a regular season award.
I'm
right?
just saying. And they lucky the postseason don't count. Because if you add the 1,000 yards and the 6 touchdowns Matt Stafford had in the postseason, he would have really ran away with it.
It just doesn't. It's not what it is.
Because Drake Maye I know he playing good defenses, but it's trending down.
Yeah.
Well, he just played maybe the 3 best defenses.
That's what I'm saying.
But it wasn't looking good. Well, I don't know if you were looking at what I was looking at. It wasn't looking good.
Just kind of proved my point. He played those top defenses, and we seen what he looked like. But then we seen Stafford play those defenses, and
Stafford played 6 top 10 defenses in the regular season.
That's it.
What about eye test?
Drake Maye played 3.
Wait, who's in the chip? Who got here?
That's fair. That's a fair argument.
Yeah.
Oh,
this was my
point. That's what you always tell me. It's about.
This is what I'm saying. You guys are laughing at me for being on the fence, but this is why one got 23 and one got 24 because
you got a job to do,
both.
Cody. You got to pick a side.
And I would pick Matthew Stafford.
Show.
I'd pick Matthew Stafford, but the question again was, are you surprised it was that close? Absolutely not.
But it sounds like tomorrow you might pick Drake Maye, right?
No, I'm picking. Oh, for the game? No. But the other thing too, though, and you, Gerald, you mentioned, last year doesn't matter, and then winning 4 games. But this is a human vote. It's not a statistical vote where we put it into a system.
Yeah.
There's human error in this, and I promise you voters are going to look at that, and that does carry some weight to say, well, he took an organization with a first-year head coach, a first-year offensive coordinator who obviously has a great pedigree behind him, but this is his first year in a system as opposed to Matthew Stafford, who's been with Sean McVay for a long time. That's the human element of the voters.
It is.
Looking at all of that, looking at film, looking at other factors instead of saying, here are the stats, put it in a system, who's your winner?
Well,
respectfully, Cody, I said I wasn't surprised. And I said because of that.
Thank you.
I'm not surprised, but it don't matter. It was last year.
If a quarterback push 50 touchdowns, I'm pushing 50, and I got 8 interceptions.
Yeah.
I lose in the AFC Championship game.
And 597 attempts.
Like, bro, come on, man. That's
That's unheard of.
We talking about, I don't care about the 400 rushing yards and the 4 touchdowns. Bro, you're not a running back. I don't care about that. Let's talk quarterback play. Your job is to throw the ball, throw touchdowns. Who did that the best?
But when you love QBR, but you also love eye test. You bring up eye test all the time. Who passes the eye test for you?
Right,
if you're going to draft a team right now, you would pick Drake Maye over Matt Stafford?
Well, I mean, on age, if I'm going forward.
If just 1 year, this year, their 1-year contract, you have him next year to go to the Super Bowl and the Cowboys.
Drake Maye has won me over. He has
Okay.
grown on me because I just watched 3 games.
I like Drake Maye.
I watched 3
passes the
games
eye
where
test
he was
for
having
Skip.
a hard time because they don't protect him very well. We're about to make a pick on this game. And he figured out how to win all 3 games against the 3 best defenses, and he did it with his legs twice against you. They were huge runs, a 28-yarder, and
Crucial.
then with the chips on the line, that 3rd and 5 at the end of the game, he just says, I'll do this. I'll hang on."
And that's why I like Drake Maye, Skip,
Yeah.
because he find ways to win.
He does.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He find ways to win games no matter how the stats look. But when I'm talking MVP,
Okay,
but look at the stats.
But you're talking most spectacular player, that's Matt Stafford. Most valuable player is Drake Maye.
Well, them,
Okay?
that's the same boat to me. It's,
Okay.
However you want to word it, most spectacular, most valuable. Who put on the show?
If we talking about most valuable player, Christian McCaffrey should have won it. If we being real, they
that's
had 75 injuries, and without him, they almost was the 1 seed
We talking
because
most
of
valuable,
Christian McCaffrey.
Shit, it might be damn JSN.
That,
real.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Make a
Like,
case.
if we really want to talk most valuable,
And he was the
without
offensive
Christian
player of the
McCaffrey,
year.
the 49ers ain't even in, like,
Okay.
No,
they might be
yeah.
picking top 5.
Gerald, I like that.
Yeah. Well, he won
saying.
the comeback
that, huh,
player of the
Kenzie?
year. He was
Yeah,
comeback
of course I
player.
like that. You know me.
Hey, how
Okay,
do you
so
feel
to-
about Justin Herbert got a first place
Okay,
vote, too?
speaking
Man,
of
that's
that,
nuts.
think about this.
I'll vote for Sam Darnold before I vote for Herbert.
Thank you. Bingo.
Real.
Hey,
So the voter who voted for Justin Herbert, who needs to be drug tested right here, right now, he quickly claimed responsibility, I think he was taking credit for voting for Justin Herbert. And his name, I'm just going to call his name, is Sam Munson. He was for a while with Pro Football Focus. Now he's just a podcaster. I'm not sure how he still has a vote, but he voted for Justin Herbert. If he had voted for Drake Maye is receiving that award last night. Because the points for first place, if he'd given Drake Maye his first place votes, he would have won the award.
I like what Justin Herbert did. He got his ass kicked this year behind that offensive line, but no, he did not deserve a
Yeah.
first place vote.
By the way, your favorite stat, QBR, Justin Herbert was 13th in QBR, just for the record.
Yeah, wild vote. Okay, so maybe the votes were really close last night, but our people, of course, have voted, the fans, and 75% of them are going with Matt Stafford. So that's not even close.
So it shouldn't have been
surprise.
close.
Yeah, they're not even close there. So the votes were close, not from our fans over here. So, all right, everybody, let's talk about Evans, our go-to.